I've tried to summarise this whole process in the form of two different diagrams. One of these is the cycle of disengagement, which comes from something by Barrett, in which he said that, well, I'll quote directly, the need to transmit large quantities of socio-emotional information to strangers over an impersonal mode of communication can make people feel vulnerable and open to personal attacks. So they limit the amount of this type of information, which in turn creates a barrier to communication. So the problem is that people will go into an environment like this, and some will feel it's a very impersonal sort of environment. This is perhaps because they feel a certain element, a very low element of co-presence. They don't feel this connection with other people within this space. They just see them as images on the screen and not really authentic individuals. So it feels impersonal, and so they will feel vulnerable within this environment. They don't want to share because they're not sure what's going on. They don't feel at home. All of these people feel like just that they're not people that they want to engage with because they don't really know them. Because they're limiting this information, they won't engage, they won't develop an identity, they will withdraw to a large extent, which means that then people will actually see them as noobs. They will see them as people that aren't engaging with this environment, and so therefore they won't want to engage with them. In fact, in some situations they may even bully them online, and okay, that's not acceptable, but for some reason, but in some cases people will see new people coming into an environment and not engaging and just looking like the generic avatars as griefing. They will see that as being something invasive and threatening to their own interactions, and so therefore react badly. So some of our students will then feel that they're not at home, they will feel alienated, they will therefore feel even less connection with the people around them, and we get this positive feedback loop, but in a downwards direction. They will feel less co-presence, they will actually then feel it's more impersonal, and they will withdraw even more. What we find though with students that are actually a lot more connected, and this is taken from Caspian Blau, who talked about, they analysed different sorts of virtual environments and found that irrespective of what environment was being communicated within, the students or whoever was interacting would actually adapt their behaviour to maximise their co-presence. They would use different sorts of techniques to feel more connection with people. And so those students that will actually go in and feel a high level of co-presence will feel a connection to other people, will be sensitive to each other's presence. They will actually recognise other people, they will be able to communicate with them as individuals, they will then go on to maybe experience community. And so because of this, they'll be motivated to project themselves in different ways. They will individualise their avatar. They will be getting feedback from other people which will help to inform their identity within world. And because of this, they will then be able to communicate more effectively. They will have learnt what skins to wear, what clothes to wear. They will have learnt some of the basic language that goes on within somewhere like Second Life. And so therefore they will feel a greater sense of connection with other people. It will feel at home to them, and they will start to recognise other peoples as individuals within this environment. And so therefore they will actually feel a stronger sense of connection, which means that we then get a positive feedback loop, but in the other direction, going upwards to strengthen their connection to this space. And so therefore what we find with a lot of our learners is that they will polarise into two different extremes. There will be some that really love this space and get on with it and get on with the people within it. And we'll find others that become increasingly alienated and encounter some more unfortunate experiences and withdraw further and further from wanting to interact.